I have to tell you, I was absolutely captivated at CHA, our national trade show, where I saw Dee's distinctively cutting dies. Really, I was captivated by what she did with them.
These are very detailed dies, and what's unique about them is that they can be molded to create some really interesting dimension.
I can't wait to show you what our design team has done. Come play with us. Well, here are many of her Christmas cutting dies.
Right. We have stockings, trees, and deer.
And some bells, as well as candles, and some sprigs. Now, we're going to show them to you as we show you the project.
Right.
So, okay, so I'm going to just
move
pull
some
these
of
two.
these away.
Okay, so here are the candles, and you can see that they come on one plate. So you'll be cutting those out. And then the sprigs, there are two of them. So again, just going to reduce your cutting time.
When you get these together, they're going to be connected with a small piece of metal. You can clip those apart if you like with wire cutters and then sort of file the edge off. Or you can leave them together like that.
Okay, and this is called pine sprigs. And look at what our Gail has done. This is just absolutely what these cutting dies will allow you to do. So as we get in closer, you can see the candles. And you can see the curving. It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much, and that really typifies what you can do with these dies. You can give them dimension by curving the shape. So you can put them up on foam tape, just flat the way they are, or you can get out a kit that has some unique tips for molding, which we have.
You want to bring that? Shall I show the package? Yeah, this is from McGill, and it is was done for their paper blossom punches, but we found that it works beautifully, and it has these 3 stylus with different size tips on each end, and then these reverse action tweezers, all in a nice little black case.
Right. So I've got, and I want to show you that when you run one pass of that die through, these are all the pieces that you're going to get. You're going to get this one long candle, which can be cut to any length that you want, so you can make it a short or long candle. And then you get 2 of these drippy tops, and you get...
Is that the technical name for them? The drippy tops.
Drippy tops. And then you get this nice flame and a tiny little flame that can be laid on top of that one. So I'm going to start with these little drippy tops here, because they're kind of cool. And you're going to bring in a mat, and I have kind of a rubberized mat. You can use a mouse pad for this, the back of a mouse pad. And I'm going to grab kind of the medium ball here, and you can use a medium, and maybe a little bit smaller will work as well too. So I've got these 2 tips that are, they're about that size. I think one of them is about 3/16, one of them is about 1/8 of an inch wide. And I'm going to start on the back side of that piece. And you can cut these out of all kinds of different things. You can cut them out of suede, all kinds of specialty paper, and just start in the center.
But these were just cut out of cardstock, right?
These were cut out of cardstock. I'm going to start in the center, and I like to do it in a circular shape. And if you push too hard, it's just going to wrinkle right down like that. You can see it sort of puckering.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Just sort of circular. And you can round that out. If that happens to you, you can round it out. There's the edges. I'm rounding, I'm moving around.
Oh, and I see it lifting.
Yeah, you see it lifting. I get towards it. I start in the middle, I move out toward the edges. In just a second, I'm going to turn it over and show you how that looks. So you're making this cup shape, or bowl shape, really. And then when I turn it over, you can see that it's rounded and like that.
Now, that may not look like a lot of difference, but when you place it on the candle, which you've also curved a bit, didn't you?
I'm going to show that one too.
Okay, you want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. So you've got that. You'd go all around each one of those, and it's really pretty quick. You can just sort of round them and pull them up and see how they all sort of pull up. Right. So you've got that shape going on. You've got that movement going there. You've got the depth. Then you take this one, and I like with this one to move right to the very large ball, the largest one I have, which is about 1/4 of an inch. And on this one, I'm going to start on the edges, right on the edges, and start all the way along the edges like this, because I'm trying to get it to roll to the center.
So in that case, you're kind of stroking it up and down.
Up and down, and just so I can get it to curve around like so.
And it does?
And it does, just like that.
It does your bidding.
Got this cup shape, and then when this one is all done and shaped, you can set it on top of it, and there's that dimension we're talking about.
Lovely. Okay. And yet the project is just spectacular. Now, I'm seeing some shiny stuff on the edges of your drippy things. I hope you're making note of these technical terms.
Yeah, this is stickles, and this one is called ice stickles, and it's got it's clear, but it's got this shimmery sort of iridescent glitter in it.
It's also a bigger bottle.
This is a bigger bottle, and this is one of our new colors, so that's what you're seeing on the candle and even on the flames, but on the green of these pine sprigs.
Okay, before you do that, so at the edge of the drippy things, that's where you're seeing the ice stickles.
The ice stickles. Actually, I kind of inked them a little bit, very lightly, with a fawn fluid chalk ink.
Okay.
So you can get even more dimensions. So it looks like shadows back there on the sides of the candles.
Now, you were going to go to the pine sprigs when I stopped you.
Okay, and so the pine sprigs, which were cut out of the paper from this Christmas cheer paper pack, but also from the green suede.
Now, if this is looking black on your screen, it's only because the forest green is such a deep green that sometimes the camera turns it black, but I'm here to tell you this is green.
It is a dark forest green.
And it's just so rich, the way you've layered those.
Oh yeah, it looks like a shadow even if you put them in front of the ones that are done on the pattern paper. The ones that are done on the pattern paper have sea foam stickles. It's another one of our new colors of stickles. It just matches it perfectly. There's a little bit of extra jazz on there.
And speaking of, that was a nice segue, a little bit of extra jazz. Look at those flames. That is so fun.
Two different holographic papers.
Right, so red fireworks, which is just so perfect. And then the gold ripple.
Just for the center.
And so have it going up and down.
Right, up and down. And so each of those were done with the little cutting die that comes with it, all in one piece. And I even put the little ice stickles right on the center. If you turn it just a little bit, you just get a little bit extra.
Okay.
Just extra fun. And you know what's neat about those are tiny little pieces, so you can use the whole rest of that sheet for something else entirely. Just tiny little pieces for those flames.
Now, speaking of extra bling, you have the Christmas cheer. Now, this is from the Christmas cheer Embellies, and you've also jazzed that up
with just a little of those stickles. So the sea foam goes around the edges of the Christmas cheer, and I use the ice stickles in the center. And then the background that you're seeing is from the Christmas cheer paper pack. It's just sort of a natural border on there.
Then you also, in the Embellies, it has a white one, but you switched it out with one of the green ones.
I don't know, it just seemed right.
Yeah, because that's just what, that is just stunning and easy to make. I mean, not terribly labor intensive
and fun. That's one of those really fun things. It's just fun to sort of mold that, and then when you get done, I would suggest on the backs of those candles to put a double layer of foam tape right in the center, because they're really going to cup over and they need just a little bit extra. If you use one layer of foam tape, you're going to end up squishing it down too flat.
Now, did you do anything under the drippy things?
Yep, that's foam tape, just a little foam tape. And
just at the
just
top?
in the center, really, just right in the center, and then everything else just holds its shape there.
So your drips can hang.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful, Gail.
Thank you.
Well, and now we have another beautiful, look at this. Okay, so this is with the bells. Now, this has a different series of cutting dies, and I thought this was quite ingenious. So there is a silhouette, is what she calls it, and then there are two options for layers to go on top.
Right, to embellish your bell. So you get that basic bell shape, which also comes with this little bell clanger.
The clapper?
In the center.
Yeah,
the
there
clapper,
you go.
That's right.
And then there are these two, which has been used.
Right, so you're going to get that bell silhouette like this, plus you're going to get the clapper for the center. And it actually has a little slit right here. That's part of the cutting die will do that. It will actually cut that part so that when you mold your bell up at the top, you can just see that part you will mold down, and this part you will mold up. So it gives you that dimension. And then when you cut one of these shapes, you can mold that and put it on top. I would suggest gluing it in place and then molding them together as one piece.
I was just going to ask you, if you tried to mold this, it feels like it would tear.
You could no, actually you can do it because this is out of cardstock. If it was out of paper, I'd be a little more worried. But you can glue those together first and then go ahead and mold them together, and you'll have that shape that you see.
Now you did that on glimmer paper, right?
I did. So that background silhouette is glimmer, and this is cardstock, and then I inked the edges with some chambray fluid chalk ink, I believe.
Okay, and the clapper and the pine sprigs. So this is the same pine sprigs you used on the candle, right?
But I did them in black suede.
In black suede. Now that to me is just amazing. Well, just there you go.
It's
There's
a
the black
different look
suede.
entirely.
It is.
And I like it, but you know what? I wish I would have put icicles on them too. I keep looking at it going, you know, they would have been popped just a little bit more if I had added that. So I would suggest doing that. Also, I matted just the circular part of that clapper so you could see it really pop out a little.
Yes. Now you've also used on the corners of this card as well as on your tag the Christmas chalkboard cheer dazzles, right?
Right. So that's one of the joy dazzles and the little scrolls that go above and below. I like the little corners too, the little corner edgings. And there was a design toolkit used on here, but I can't recall which one. So please check the gallery for that.
And you used the Fresh Frost 6x6 paper. So
and I wanted to keep it all blue for some reason.
Yeah. And let me just bring in the glimmer. The glimmer is sold by the sheet.
Lots of different colors.
Yeah.
Glimmer.
So that's the blue. Again, just not as in your face as the holographic, but just that shimmer that just works.
A little bit more shimmer, right?
So
and
nicely.
So that was really fun. I love those bells. That cut work on there is just beautiful.
It is, and it's kind of fun to have the two different ones just to give a little bit of variety. I also think that for wedding bells, for an anniversary or a wedding card would be gorgeous. So New Year's, bringing in the new year. So
and these are shaped just the same as the other one, using those little stylus ends and that foam or rubber plate underneath, and it's just very simple to do.
Okay, will you bring in the stocking cutting dies?
Okay.
Because there are 3 of those, and it's similar to the bell in that there's a silhouette like so, and then a couple of versions of very intricate overlays.
Right. They call this one stocking 1, and they call this one stocking 2. And I don't know if you can tell, but the dimensions on these they are about, let's see, this one's about 3 1/4, about 3.5 inches, I think, 3.5 to 4 inches. So that's the dimensions on these. And this one it came all put together. We do have to cut them apart to get the separate dies to come apart. But all of these little round pieces come in one little strip, and then you'll see what you can do with those.
And then 2 overlays. And here we have, now this is an 8x8 card. And we do have, from the Hunky Dory folks, 8x8 blank cards. So, because some people are really wanting to make those larger ones. And this is all 3 of them. So just the silhouette, and then playing with the colors of papers, and one of the overlays, and then obviously the other one.
Right. So it's like that. This is what you get. When you do just the silhouette, you're going to get this, and you're going to get 4 of these little round pieces, which you can cup and curve with the little stylus, very simply. And this is the same as that bell in that it's got that little cut work at the top, so you can set that back, and you'll be able to, here I'm going to do it this way so you can, there you go. So when you cup it, it'll be cupped like this in front, and that will be set in the back, so it looks like it's actually open. Gosh, you could put something in there.
You almost could, couldn't you?
I hadn't thought about that. But also this piece here, which when you're done will sit right up at the top, just like so. And then of course you can cut one of the silhouettes to sit right on top of there.
Yeah, very neat. I thought it was very clever to use the same papers but to reverse them, and to use one of each for the top of the stockings. And you could certainly do a whole long row of them if you wanted to do a pennant, that would be fun, kind of mirroring hanging them off of a mantle.
Sure.
But just thought this was fun. And this is also using, up at the top, the 2 oval doilies and the mat, as well as the Merry Merry Christmas dazzles.
So it really centers that greeting there for you, and I just love the little loops of
the mesh ribbon,
up at the top,
yeah.
the mesh, and that's just a very cute Christmas card. It looks like they're on the mantle.
Will you bring that stockings over for a second?
Sure.
When Debbie was making this card, she was showing it to me, and pretend that these are just 2. That's okay. I just want to show this. And she had them like this when she was showing them to me. And I said, you know what? I think that would be a great Halloween card.
Okay.
So this is what she did, and
so cute.
I am so delighted with how this turned out. So whether you've seen Wicked, or if you're just doing Halloween, this is so fun. It's always nice to be able to maximize them in other ways.
Yeah, you could do a Wizard of Oz themed card here for anybody who really knows somebody who needs that. That's the way to go.
I think it was just so striking, and of course using the colors, the greens and the oranges.
Halloween papers, I see that again, that oval doily cutting die was used in the back. And I see some of the Halloween stickers that were used
These are the new spooky ones. So we've got our cobweb in the corner, just those nice extra details, and the little spider hanging down there.
So that's great. The background, she must have cut a couple of them and then cut out an orange strip to put right in the center, which is a really great idea.
And I'm assuming that the reason why I have these papers here is because that's what was used.
Those are the ones that were used.
Okay, these are the
spooky papers?
I think these are the spooky papers. Yeah. So these are single-sided, but you can see they've got the purples and all the different.
Lots of fun colors just for Halloween. I love the green.
Okay, so that was a fun treat. And now we're going to go into our trees and our reindeer.
There we go.
Okay, so we have 2 sizes of each. Let's sort these out.
Right.
So we have 2 trees. There is a large and a small. Now the large is, about
4.5.
Thank you.
Here we go, 4.4 by 3.4.
Oh, read the package? Is that what you're telling me?
So it's about 4.5 inches. Now, I'm not quite sure if that means finished, because the thing is, here's the cutting die. Comes in, it's connected with each of the pieces of this layered snow-covered tree.
Which is very nice.
Which you can cut apart, or you can use all together in one piece to cut it once.
And there's the small one. So let me show you how these look all together.
How big do they look when they're all put together?
They look amazing.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Now let's get in really close so we can see those layers. And how many layers are there? Let me see.
1, 2, 3, 4?
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5 of the small one.
I think that's the same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the big ones. So there you go. Now, a couple of things are going on with this card. So we'll back up just a little bit to show you. Number 1 is the there's an embossing folder that's been used on the back.
And that is a shimmer sheet back there.
Okay.
So a shimmer sheet was taken, or these, it's a newer color, the blue shimmer sheet. It was embossed in the embossing folder, sanded so you could get a little bit of that silver to come through, and then cut with that scalloped cutting die. So there's your background.
Okay. Ooh, gorgeous. Now, but I see some glittery stuff on top.
Right. So here I've just got to show you what's going on there. So all the different layers. Here's one of them. I went ahead and molded it so you can see that I have that cup shape. You want to do that before you do any of this. And I've got a couple of different things that I'm going to use with this. First, I've got the new our new super fine clear gloss embossing powder from Wow. It comes in this big container because you're going to use lots of it.
Oh, and I have to tell you that on this particular one, well, actually, yeah, I know it's on that one.
Okay.
The price that is in the printed catalog and in the virtual catalog is wrong. It is like twice as much. We got our numbers off.
Okay.
This comes from England, and in doing the currency conversion, we were wrong. But if you click on it, you will see the correct price.
Okay.
Okay.
So don't get put off when you see that first price
don't.
for this, because that's incorrect, and I'm sure we'll get that corrected.
It's corrected. It's it's just that we can't change the printed catalog because or the virtual.
So online you're going to see the.
So it's not $19.99. I think it's $10.99.
Like
so big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
And we're pretty excited by having these big containers.
It is, because there are so many different things you can do with clear gloss. You can stamp over and over and make some really high thick stuff. Anyway, for our effects here, we wanted to use the clear gloss. We've got Versamark, and we have another great new product that is called Spoonful of Snow. And we have some other spoonful ofs in different colors as well.
Yeah, and I'll show you that after you're done.
Okay, but this comes from the maker from Stampentus.
Right.
They make Frantage and stuff like that. And when it comes in a bag, but I happen to have it just in here, and it's very fluttery. It contained some embossing powder mixed with these great little glitter and this plasticky flake stuff that's just very iridescent. So we're going to use a little of all of that. But we're going to start by Versamarking this little guy, and we're just going to do it on the ends, right down where the snow is falling down at the bottom of the tree line there. So we Versamark it. We're going to use some of the clear embossing powder. I think I got it.
Okay?
Yeah, here we go. Right there. We're going to go ahead and douse just the Versamark portion of that. There we go.
Clear.
Put that away for now, and then I'm going to heat emboss that. So I've got my heat gun here. All we want to do is emboss that clear embossing on there, because we want to give something for the Spoonful of Snow to grab onto. And now it's got embossing powder in it, the smooth Spoonful of Snow, but when you start with the heat gun blowing around, it just blows it all to just everywhere. So I get that nice and heated up, and while it's still warm, I'm just going to stick that right in there.
Well, actually, that's a nice container for doing that.
Yeah, to get that stuck on there, you can even sort of, and if you need to, you can do a kind of a double dose of that. But that's the way we stuck it on there, and you might have to Versamark it and like try the process again, but that's the way to do it. That's the way to get it stuck
So
on.
that was Spoonful of Snow.
Right.
There is a Spoonful of Midnight, a Spoonful of Silver, as well as the Snow. So 3 versions and lots of ways you can use them.
Right.
So just wanted to show you that. Now going back to this card, so we have done the shimmer sheets and done the embossing folder, and you can see that the cutting dies. Now you'll notice that Wishes is in a blue turquoisey. Oh, you know what? I have the shimmer sheets. I'm sorry, I didn't show that.
There they are. They're
Isn't
just
that
beautiful.
Gorgeous?
And this is, oh, I can't remember the name of this one. The blue.
La 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 la.
Blue. It's iris. It's a blue iris. I'm quite certain.
It's gorgeous. it's in the stuff, and it's in the gallery too. So you can go to the gallery, and then you can click on where it says the material, and it will take you to the product page, so you get a better idea.
But I know we don't carry those Wishes dazzles in teal blue.
So, but what we have discovered is that you can use the Spectrum Noir pens, and you can color them, because these are an alcohol base. And so you can change your dazzles, especially the silver ones and the gold ones, I think are particularly good for that.
Right, so that's just beautiful. So those are the Frosty Woodland stickers.
Yeah.
It says Wishes on the front, but it has like a nice Christmas greeting on the inside, I think, so if I'm not mistaken.
Open up the card palette.
Ta-da!
Oh, gorgeous.
So combining the silver with the ones that were colored with the Spectrum Noir. And they dry really quick. You don't even hardly have to wait for them to dry.
Very nice.
Just beautiful. And that was just one piece of the shimmer sheets there.
Yeah,
done to
and
it.
I think this has actually 3 pieces in it, so you know it's going to go quite a ways.
Right.
Now we showed the reindeer, so I think we need to bring them in on their own. Here are the 2 reindeer in 2 different sizes, and this is almost 3 inches tall, 2 3/4, and by 1 3/4, and then the smaller one is
a little over 1 1/4 inches both ways.
So if you would like to create a winter scene, here is what you can do. And in this case, the trees are also done out of the four-spring suede.
Are they the suede?
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I think they are.
I didn't read it. You're right.
So again, that suede that we showed you in the very first card.
And they're treated just a little bit differently than the other trees. So I've got that one so I can show you just very briefly. This one, some of the same process in that we've got the Versamark. We've also got just regular white and super fine embossing powder. But then we have this new product that we're carrying now. This is the Wow Ultra High Opaque White embossing powder, and it's very grainy. I want to open up so you can see. It's very thick and grainy. The little, look at that. the grains, when you throw them on there, you can really see them. So when they melt, it will look like that. It will look like snow that's just melted.
So it is that ultra high, and that's what was used on the at the bottom of the card, as well as on the tips of the tree.
And it's done just the same way. It's Versamark on the. Do you want me to show you?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, we'll do it. So there's
we
the
like
Versamark.
demos.
Okay. And I'm going to hit the bottoms of those just like so. Make sure I get all over the bottom like that. Then I'm going to go ahead to really. It will stick, it will melt the ultra high, but because of all of the air around, this cutout, what am I saying? This die cut.
Okay.
Then what you get is a lot of air just blowing away these large pieces of that thick ultra high embossing powder. So you want to give it something to stick to. If I were just to put the ultra high on like a square cardstock and emboss through, use the heat gun through the bottom of it, then it would all stick on there. I wouldn't have an issue. It wouldn't blow all over. But this is a different issue. So I've got that nice and hot.
And you're juggling that heat gun very nicely.
And I want to put this on there. I think I'm going to heat it up again before I put it on there. Just one more little. Nice and hot and melty. And I'm just going to sort of dunk it in there. And I might have put some on the table and then dunk it on that. That's a little better. So and then you can also sort of put it on that way. And then I would heat it again, and I would heat it from underneath. Might have to do it a couple of times so you don't blow off too much of it, but that's how it was done. Allow a little bit more drying time for this.
Or heating time.
Heating time. There, you can see it melting. You see that?
And what you're going to get is the dimension. I mean, the white is pretty, but you're going to get the dimension. And I think on the card, there you go. Oh, very icy, very snowy. And on this card, it looks like just the ultra high white was used rather than also using the superfine white with it, because you can see through it, which is a really pretty look.
So you're seeing some of that, and you're seeing it just sprinkled around to get those.
That's the effect I love. I just think that's
beautiful.
And so here it is if you just had it with, not using the cutting die, so it's a more solid surface. Now, with this ultra high, we just fell in love with it. So we also have a silver.
Move this out of your way.
And we have a gold. And we have a copper.
Love that copper.
And we have a black as well as the white.
So all of it is in that very grainy, ultra high look. You can make it nice and thick. You can do all kinds of wonderful things with this. If you use a lot of it in one spot, you can really get like a puddle of this super thick.
In fact, we will be doing a webisode on these later. So anyway, back to D. So what you've seen is all kinds of wonderful things. I love her layering. I think that's really, I've never seen that before.
And we've also seen that while these can be used for Christmas, obviously they can be used for lots of other things too.
And so we're delighted and hope you are too.
Have fun.